Alex Mercer stood in the middle of the grand hall, his heart beating fast. The air felt fresh and sweet, filled with the smell of flowers. All around him, Lissari nobles watched quietly, their bright eyes curious and calm. The walls seemed alive, covered in gentle vines that glowed softly in the golden light. Queen Scylla sat on her throne, high above the crowd. Her robe shimmered like water, and her crown was made from living blossoms that moved gently with every breath. Alex felt small and out of place, but he remembered what his commander told him. Be yourself. Be kind. He took a slow, deep breath and looked up at the queen. The Lissari believed in peace, beauty, and respect for nature. Alex knew this from his mission notes, but seeing it was different from reading about it. As he waited, a young Lissari woman with green hair stepped forward. She was a royal attendant, and she smiled as she bowed. Queen Scylla welcomes you, Alex Mercer, she said, her voice clear and kind. She wishes to speak to you herself. Alex stepped forward, his boots echoing on the smooth floor. He bowed awkwardly. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am honored to be here. Queen Scylla's eyes shone with a warm blue light. We are glad you have come, Alex. Humans are new friends to the Lissari. We wish to learn from you and to share what we know. The nobles began to murmur among themselves, but not with fear or anger, only curiosity. Alex wondered what they thought of him. Did they expect a hero, or a scientist, or a great leader? Instead, they had him, a simple soldier with dirt under his nails. The queen rose gracefully from her throne. With a small smile, she descended the steps and stopped in front of Alex. She was taller than he expected, almost as tall as he was, but her eyes were gentle. In Lissari custom, we welcome friends with a gift, she said, handing him a small silver pendant shaped like a blooming flower. This is for you, Alex Mercer. Wear it, and remember that you are always welcome here. Alex took the pendant, surprised and touched. He placed it around his neck. Thank you, Your Majesty. I brought something from Earth too, but it's small. I hope you will like it. The Lissari nobles leaned forward, interested. Alex reached into his pocket and touched a little flower kit his grandmother had given him. He wasn't sure if a simple earth flower would matter to these elegant people, but it was the only gift he had. The queen's smile grew wider. We look forward to seeing it, Alex. Just then, gentle music began to play. Lissari children appeared, dancing in circles, their laughter filling the hall. The air felt lighter, and Alex felt some of his nervousness fade away. For the first time since arriving, he thought, maybe he could do this. Maybe humans and Lissari really could become friends. After the welcome ceremony, everyone in the palace buzzed with excitement. Lissari nobles whispered to each other about the earth flower and what it could mean. Some younger Lissari even tried to find Alex, hoping to see the brave human up close. For the first time, Alex felt like he truly belonged on Lissara. Queen Scylla, holding the daisy carefully, led Alex to a quieter garden beside the palace. The garden was peaceful, filled with soft blue grass and trees with golden blossoms. Sunlight danced on the water of a small pond. The queen gestured for Alex to walk beside her. You may not know this, she said gently, but giving a flower is a very old custom among my people. In ancient times, it meant a wish to join lives and walk together in the future. Over many centuries, this tradition faded away. Alex listened carefully, his heart thumping. He hoped he hadn't insulted anyone. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I just wanted to show respect and friendship. Queen Scylla smiled, her eyes sparkling. That is exactly what the gesture meant, Alex. It was a sign of true trust and hope. You did not insult us. Instead, you have reminded us of something important, a tradition of unity. Just then, the royal advisor and several palace nobles approached, looking serious. They spoke quickly to the queen in their musical Lissari language. Alex caught only a few words, but he saw surprise on their faces and then smiles of delight. Queen Scylla turned to Alex, her voice proud and clear. By Lissari custom, when a flower is offered to the queen, she may choose to declare a chosen mate, a partner to share dreams and help lead the people. This is not only about marriage, it is about trust, new beginnings, and the hope for peace. Alex blinked in shock. Wait, you mean me? The queen nodded, her face kind and strong. You have given hope where there was none. As Queen of Lizara, I declare you, Alex Mercer of Earth, my chosen mate. Let all Lissari know this day is a new beginning. Word spread through the palace like fire on dry grass. Nobles and servants rushed to the garden, bowing or cheering. Some played joyful music. Lissari children tossed flower petals in the air. Even the trees seemed to shimmer brighter. Alex stood frozen, unsure whether to laugh or run away. Never in his life did he imagine something like this. But when he looked at Queen Scylla, he saw only kindness and trust, not pressure or fear. He bowed deeply, trying to find the right words. I'm honored, Your Majesty. I will do my best to help bring our people together. Queen Scylla touched his shoulder and smiled. Come, chosen mate, our story has only just begun. And so, with a simple daisy, a new chapter opened, not just for Alex and the Queen, but for the worlds of Earth and Lizara. News of Alex Mercer becoming the Queen's chosen mate spread across Lizara, and soon reached the human delegation as well. Suddenly, the palace was busier than ever. Nobles arrived from distant cities, some eager to celebrate, others simply curious. The Lissari servants decorated the halls with more flowers than Alex had ever seen. Alex was given new, comfortable clothes, though he still felt strange in the flowing Lissari robes. Everywhere he went, Lissari smiled at him or bowed. Some called him chosen mate, and others asked him questions about Earth. Some even asked what human courtship was like. At first, Alex tried to explain what really happened, but the story quickly grew beyond his control. Some Lissari nobles believed this was the first step toward a powerful alliance with Earth. A few imagined Alex and Queen Scylla would marry and rule together. Some worried about what changes the new bond might bring to Lissari tradition. Even the human delegation, who had been following everything closely, sent messages to Alex. Lieutenant Parker, his supervisor, called him on his communicator. Alex, is it true? Parker sounded confused and worried. Are you really engaged to an alien queen? Alex tried not to laugh, but it was all so strange. Not exactly. It was just a flower, sir. I wanted to be polite. I didn't know about the tradition. But now you're in the center of everything, Parker said, half joking, half serious. Don't say or do anything without checking with us, okay? And try not to start a war or a wedding. Alex promised, but he knew it wasn't that simple. The palace staff brought him special meals, and everywhere he went, Lissari musicians played songs about hope and unity. Some children followed him, giggling and trying to teach him Lissari words. In return, Alex taught them simple English words like friend and peace. That night, there was a celebration in the palace gardens. Lights floated in the air, and Lissari and humans mingled, sharing food and stories. Alex sat beside Queen Scylla under a glowing tree. The queen spoke softly. You seem troubled, Alex. Alex nodded. I didn't mean to confuse anyone. I just wanted to be a good guest. Queen Scylla smiled. Sometimes the most honest acts have the greatest meaning. Do not worry. Together, we will help our people understand. As the music played, Alex relaxed a little. He noticed how the Lissari and humans laughed together, and how the air was filled with happiness, not fear. He realized that even though things had become complicated, something good was growing from it. In a world of misunderstandings, sometimes a little kindness and a single flower could start a new story. Alex decided to face whatever happened next with hope, and maybe a little humor too. Life in the palace changed quickly for Alex Mercer after the Queen's declaration. He was no longer just a guest. Now he was part of the royal story. Every day brought a new surprise, a new tradition, or a new friend trying to help him fit in as the chosen mate. Queen Scylla's advisors wanted Alex to learn Lissari customs. Each morning, he met with a patient old tutor named Era, who explained everything from Lissari greetings to the meaning of different colored flowers. Alex tried his best, but he often mixed up the words and sometimes ended up telling people, "You smell like a fish," instead of "good morning." The Lissari found this funny and started calling him Alex the Brave, not because he was a soldier, but because he kept trying no matter what. Scylla invited Alex to special events almost every day. One morning, she took him to the Hall of Songs, where Lissari poets sang about famous love stories. Another afternoon, she showed him the moonlit gardens, where rare flowers only opened their petals at night. Alex watched in wonder as the blossoms glowed softly in the moonlight. In Lissari hearts, Scylla told him, the smallest kindness can make the greatest light. Though these events were grand, Alex enjoyed the simple moments most. He liked walking with Scylla through the gardens, asking questions, and sharing small jokes. Sometimes she would laugh at his earth stories, like how humans give chocolate to someone they like. To his surprise, she brought him a basket of shimmering, sweet Lissari fruits in return. There were also rituals. The Lissari believed in showing feelings through acts instead of words. One day, Scylla gave Alex a woven ring made of living vines, placing it gently on his wrist. "This is a sign of trust," she explained. "Wear it, and remember you are never alone here." Alex was touched and promised to keep it safe. Alex's awkwardness soon turned into something more, curiosity and respect. He watched as the Lissari worked together, listened to their music, and learned their stories. The more he learned, the more he saw that, deep down, Lissari and humans were not so different. Both wanted friends, laughter, and hope for the future. But not everyone in the palace was sure about this new bond. Some nobles still whispered behind closed doors. Others doubted if a human could truly understand their ways. Scylla never let these doubts trouble her. Whenever Alex felt unsure, she would simply smile and remind him, "Sometimes, change needs a little patience. You and I are just the beginning." By the end of the week, Alex found himself looking forward to each new day. The palace was becoming a home, and the strange customs a part of his life. He knew there were more challenges ahead, but for now, he was exactly where he needed to be. As the days passed, the story of Alex and Queen Scylla spread far beyond the palace. Both humans and Lissari followed the news closely. Some people sent messages of congratulations, while others simply wanted to learn more about the other world. On Earth, many schools and families watched news broadcasts about Alex, the flower soldier who had become a symbol of hope. Human children drew pictures of Lissari gardens, and Earth botanists became interested in the glowing plants of Lissara. On Lissara, artists painted scenes of Alex offering the daisy to Scylla. Songs were written, and some young Lissari even asked to learn English. The palace became a busy place for cultural exchanges. Human scientists brought seeds from Earth, hoping to see if they would grow in Lissari soil. In return, Lissari gardeners showed how they shaped trees and vines into living art. There were cooking classes, too. Alex tasted sweet blue fruit tarts, and Lissari chefs tried their first bite of Earth chocolate. The palace kitchens rang with laughter and surprise. Queen Scylla loved these new ideas. She often walked through the palace with Alex, greeting the visitors from both worlds. One day, they watched a group of human and Lissari children play a game together in the gardens. Their laughter filled the air as they chased floating petals, inventing new rules and new words together. Alex felt proud to see these changes. He noticed that people were less nervous around him and the queen. More Lissari nobles invited him to their homes, eager to learn about Earth customs and holidays. Alex taught them about Earth traditions like birthdays and music concerts, and listened to their stories about the star festivals on Lissara. The queen encouraged everyone to ask questions and share. She reminded her people that true friendship came from curiosity and kindness, not fear. If we open our hearts and minds, she told the crowd one evening, we will find that there is so much more that connects us than divides us. Some old doubts remained. A few Lisari nobles still whispered that things were changing too quickly, but many more realized that their world was growing brighter with every new idea. The flower that Alex had given Scylla was now a powerful symbol. People wore daisy pins or painted daisies on their doors to show they welcomed the new friendship. Alex no longer felt out of place. He felt at home, walking side by side with Queen Scylla, helping humans and Lisari to learn from each other. He saw how one small gesture, a single flower, had become a bridge between two worlds. As the sun set over the palace, Alex looked at the gardens full of laughing children and new friends. He smiled, knowing this was only the beginning. The best part was seeing hope bloom, just like the flowers, everywhere he went. The gardens of Lizara were alive with colors and scents, but now they carried a new meaning. Alex and Queen Scylla had begun a special project, a shared garden where earth plants and Lisari plants grew side by side. It was a place to celebrate friendship between two very different worlds. Every morning, Alex walked through the garden with his small tools and the seeds he had brought from Earth. Scylla often joined him, her hands gentle as she tended the glowing Lisari flowers. Together, they planted rows of daisies, lilies, and other earth blooms next to Lisari vines that shimmered with soft light. The garden was not just about plants. It was about the people who cared for them. Human scientists worked alongside Lisari gardeners, sharing knowledge about soil, water, and sunlight. Alex saw them laugh together, learning new words and new ways to care for life. One afternoon, Alex noticed a small group of children from both worlds playing near the garden's edge. They were careful not to step on the young plants. Alex smiled and waved at them. The children waved back, and one shyly held out a glowing Lisari flower. Queen Scylla watched nearby and said, "This garden will be a symbol, a place where differences are not barriers, but seeds for something new." Alex nodded. It's amazing how plants from Earth and Lisara can grow together. It feels like the garden is teaching us something important. Scylla agreed. Yes, it is about patience, respect, and hope, just like friendship. Word of the garden spread quickly. Visitors came from both planets to see it. Artists painted pictures, poets wrote verses, and musicians composed songs inspired by the colors and scents. The garden became a place for ceremonies, celebrations, and quiet moments of peace. Alex thought about how much had changed since he first arrived. What started as a small act, a simple flower given in kindness, had blossomed into a new friendship between two very different peoples. One day, Scylla and Alex stood at the garden center, where a large stone shaped like a heart was carved with the words, "Together we grow." Alex placed his hand on the stone and smiled. This garden is more than plants. It's a promise that no matter where we come from, we can grow together. Scylla reached out and took his hand gently. "And we will, Alex, for many years to come." As the sun set behind the glowing trees, the garden glowed softly in the twilight. The flowers seemed to whisper stories of hope, peace, and friendship. Alex knew that this was just the beginning. From a single flower to a whole garden, the journey of two worlds was blooming beautifully. After the success of the shared garden, the leaders of Earth and Lisara began serious talks about how to work together. Both planets had many differences, but they also had many hopes and dreams that matched. Alex Mercer was invited to join the meetings as a special ambassador. He sat at the long table with Earth diplomats and Lisari nobles, feeling proud and a little nervous. The talks were sometimes slow and careful, but always respectful. "Your worlds have much to offer each other," said the Lisari ambassador, a tall woman with shimmering hair. "Our knowledge of nature and your technology could help us both." The Earth ambassador smiled. We hope this is only the beginning of a long friendship." Alex listened carefully. He remembered his first day on Lizara, the strange flowers, the glowing trees, and the nervous soldier who didn't know what to expect. Now he saw the hope in everyone's eyes. The leaders agreed to new plans. They would share knowledge in science, medicine, and education. Human students would visit Lizara to learn about its unique plants and stars. Lizari scholars would travel to Earth to study human history and cultures. One important agreement was about peace. Both planets promised to respect each other's ways and work together to solve problems without fighting. Alex felt proud to be part of this. Back in the palace, Queen Scylla and Alex talked about what all this meant. "We have built something stronger than treaties," Scylla said softly. "We have built trust." Alex smiled. It all started with a simple flower. The people of Lizara and Earth celebrated the new agreements with festivals and songs. Daisies and glowing Lizari flowers decorated streets and homes. For many, the story of Alex and the Queen was a symbol of hope for a peaceful future. Alex knew there were still challenges ahead. Different ideas and old fears could cause problems. But he believed that by working together and learning from each other, humans and Lizari could face anything. One evening, as the sun set over the palace, Alex stood beside Queen Scylla on a balcony overlooking the shared garden. The flowers swayed gently in the breeze. "We are not just allies," Scylla said. "We are friends, and friends help each other grow." Alex nodded. "Together, we can make both our worlds better." The stars began to shine in the sky, bright and clear. Alex looked up, thinking about the long journey from Earth to Lizara, from soldier to ambassador, from stranger to friend. He smiled, knowing that a simple act of kindness, a flower given with hope, had changed everything. Years had passed since Alex Mercer first arrived on Lizara. He was no longer just a soldier from Earth. He had become a bridge between two worlds, a symbol of hope, friendship, and peace. The palace had changed. Where once stood only Lizari flowers and glowing trees, now grew gardens filled with plants from Earth and Lizara alike. The shared garden had grown large, a place where people from both worlds came to meet, learn, and celebrate. Alex walked through the garden one bright morning, the sunlight warm on his face. Children played nearby, chasing floating petals that glowed softly in the air. Lizari and human voices mixed in laughter and song. Queen Scylla joined him, wearing a crown of new flowers, some from Earth, some from Lizara. She smiled as she looked around. "This garden is a living promise," she said, "a promise that peace and friendship can grow." Alex nodded. It all started with a single flower. They stopped by a stone bench where a small plaque read, "Together we grow, together we thrive." People from both planets had added their names and messages around it. Alex thought about how far they had come. There had been challenges, moments of doubt, misunderstandings, and hard talks. But every time, kindness and hope helped them find a way forward. He remembered the day he gave Queen Scylla that simple daisy. He hadn't known then how much it would change everything. "Do you think people will remember this story?" Alex asked. Scylla smiled warmly. "They will. Not just for what happened between us, but for what it means, that a small kindness can grow into something powerful, that even the simplest gift can change the future." Alex felt a deep peace. He knew his life had been changed forever, and he was grateful. The journey from a nervous soldier to an ambassador of peace was more than he had ever dreamed. As they walked together, a group of young Lizari and human students approached. They carried a new flower, one they had created by mixing seeds from both planets. The petals glowed softly with colors from Earth and Lizara. One of the students smiled shyly and held out the flower to Alex and Scylla. "For you, to show that we will keep growing together." Alex took the flower carefully and looked at Scylla. "This is just the beginning." Scylla nodded. "Yes, the future is bright, because we choose to grow together." The sun climbed higher, shining on the blooming garden, and the two worlds connected by a simple act of friendship. In that moment, Alex knew that no matter where life took him, the story of the human soldier and the alien queen, the flower and the friendship, would live on forever. The morning sun had just begun to rise over the colony world of Avira 4. Birds chirped in the tall alien trees, and the city buzzed with life as usual. The colony was special, a place where humans and Serene, the insect-like aliens, lived and worked together. People from both species laughed, traded, and built their lives in peace. Private Morgan Hayes, a young human soldier, walked his patrol along the outer wall. He had always liked mornings here. The air smelled sweet, and the sight of the golden towers shining in the dawn made him feel hopeful about the future. Today felt like any other day, but everything was about to change. Suddenly, the warning sirens blared, echoing through the city streets. Morgan's heart pounded. He looked up and saw flashes in the sky, ships, not friendly ones, tearing through the clouds. Fire rained down from above. Explosions shook the ground. Buildings cracked, and windows shattered. People screamed and ran in all directions. Serene children scurried to their parents. Human families rushed toward the evacuation points. Soldiers shouted orders over the comms, but chaos drowned their voices. Morgan dashed to the nearest bunker, helping a limping Serene civilian along the way. "Stay with me," he yelled. The old alien nodded, his antennae quivering with fear. The air filled with smoke and the sharp scent of burning metal. Morgan's eyes watered, but he forced himself to keep moving. He could hear the enemy ships landing somewhere in the city. The invaders were coming fast. Laser blasts sizzled overhead, turning the streets into battlefields. "Get to the ships," someone shouted. Morgan could see the evacuation shuttles lining up at the landing pads, their engines humming with urgency. People pushed and shoved, desperate to escape. Morgan helped the old Serene into a shuttle, then stepped back to look for anyone else in need. That was when he noticed something strange. Far in the distance, the palace of the Serene Queen stood tall, its silver spires shining through the smoke. But something was wrong. Guards were rushing out, some dragging wounded. Enemy soldiers closed in, their black armor glinting. He heard a voice in his earpiece. "All units, fall back. Priority is evacuation." The captain barked. Morgan hesitated. His orders were clear: get out, save yourself. But he couldn't ignore what he saw. The Queen's palace was under attack. If the Queen fell, there would be no hope for peace on Avira 4. With a deep breath, Morgan made his choice. He turned away from the last shuttles and sprinted toward the burning palace. He dodged falling debris and kept low, his mind racing. He didn't know what he would find, or if he could help. But he knew he couldn't just leave the Queen behind. The battle for Avira 4 had begun, and Private Morgan Hayes was running straight into the heart of it.